Capricorn.
The world has shifted. The tides have turned. And on September 23rd, something powerful, something unseen but undeniably divine, will begin to move in your favor. Chosen one, you've been positioned in the right timeline, at the right frequency, and with the right spiritual authority to receive what others have only hoped for. Not because you begged for it, but because God authored this moment long ago. This isn't just about dates on a calendar. It's about alignment in the spirit. On this sacred day, the flow begins. The doors open. The invisible turns visible. A divine transfer is starting, and your name is on the heavenly list. You are not forgotten. You are not left behind. You are not invisible. You are chosen, and the wealth, opportunities, and favor that are about to flood into your life are the evidence. Watch this video until the end. There is something sacred about this message that the universe is waiting for you to engage with. This is not entertainment. This is divine instruction wrapped in revelation. Take a moment to activate the atmosphere with your energy. In the comments, write your warmest wishes and declare the number 99 as a symbol of divine completion and fulfilled abundance. When wishes are released into a space filled with divine frequency, they don't just vanish. They rise, they gather, they manifest. This is a moment to send a signal to the heavens, to awaken every sleeping promise in your name. You are not writing for nothing. You are activating a universal law, and this time, the universe is listening. Now, chosen one, press the hype button under the video and like this video, subscribe if you haven't subscribed to the channel, and let's begin. You are not waiting for your transfer to begin. It has already begun in the realm you cannot yet see. The delay you thought you were experiencing was really just preparation. Every not yet was never a no. It was God recalibrating the systems of heaven to pour directly into your account at the precise moment, and that moment is called September 23rd. This isn't about guessing or hoping. This is a divine transaction already in motion. Something financial is moving behind the veil. Invisible hands are rerouting money, opportunity, and recognition from old systems to new ones. And you, chosen one, are the recipient. On that day, something will shift in your spirit. You'll feel it before you see it. That is the spiritual confirmation that the physical world must follow. Something is being credited to you. A divine inheritance, previously blocked or delayed, is being released. You've been approved. God has seen the nights you couldn't rest, the tears that stained your pillow, the moments where you looked at your life and silently wondered, will I ever catch a break? And now, the answer has been written across the skies. Yes, you will catch not just a break, but a wave. A current of favor that will take you further in a few months than you've traveled in years. This wave is called divine flow. And on September 23rd, it begins to flood your life. For too long, you were positioned in dry places. You were loyal in lack. You were faithful when things made no sense. You stayed kind in silence. You didn't chase what the world chased. You chose integrity over opportunity. And now, God is rewarding your posture. This isn't a payment. This is an overflow. This is compensation from heaven's treasury. You didn't miss it. You were just being matured for it. And now, it's yours. You felt like the underdog, the overlooked one, the last in line. But this transfer was never meant to come when people expected it. That's what makes it divine. The world won't understand how you suddenly have enough. They won't comprehend how things suddenly aligned for you. But you'll know. It started on a day when heaven moved silently, and the winds of wealth blew your name into new dimensions. The day was September 23rd, the day God released what was stored for you. There is no limit to what can happen when God initiates a transfer. This is not the wealth of the world. This is not a paycheck, a promotion, or a lucky deal. This is the redirection of heavenly abundance to the ones who carry purpose. And you, chosen one, are one of them. Your value in this world isn't decided by the applause of others, but by the anointing you carry. And now, that anointing is attracting what belongs to you. The money will flow. But it won't come with noise. It will come with grace. Don't be surprised when you wake up and everything feels different. Don't question the miracles that arrive without explanation. This is divine flow. You don't have to figure it out. You don't have to beg for it. All you have to do is stand in it. Rest in it. Breathe in it. The system is already set in motion, and no one can stop what God has approved. You're entering a space where wealth is no longer a struggle, where provision is no longer uncertain, where the fear of not enough is replaced with the freedom of overflow. And it all begins because of a divine shift, one marked by a date written in the Spirit. Chosen one, you didn't imagine this. You're not making this up. You're not wishing for something unrealistic. You're awakening to what God has already authored. You were not designed for lack. You were not created for scraps. The delays did not define you. They refined you. The setbacks were never your ending. They were your rerouting. And now, here you stand, on the edge of a divine reroute that leads directly to flow, increase, and visibility. On September 23rd, that reroute becomes real. Money will no longer be your stressor. It will be your tool, your instrument, your river of resource. And with it, you will do things that legacy demands. This transfer is not about material gain. It's about fulfilling the mission God gave you. You're not being blessed just for you. You're being funded because you carry something that others need. You're being positioned so that you can build, restore, and uplift. This is no ordinary shift. This is no coincidence. You will feel something lifting off you. Old burdens, financial fears, patterns of lack, they are being disconnected from your frequency. They will not follow you into this new season. You've outgrown scarcity. You've outgrown surviving. Now is your time to thrive. And God has chosen a specific date to show you that you are not forgotten, not forsaken, not lost. You are funded. You will remember where you were on September 23rd. You'll look back and say, that was the day everything changed. It will be a timestamp in your spiritual story. Something tangible, something evident, something so divine that only God could have orchestrated it. Heaven's economy is real, and it's moving. The funds were never denied. They were simply delayed until you matured into the version of you that could carry them. Now you're ready, and that readiness has triggered release. You've entered a zone of divine release. What was once locked away behind the veil is now being handed over to you, not in fragments, not in trickles, but in full flow. The wealth that was tied up in delays, the opportunities that were once suspended in the atmosphere, are now descending. Chosen one, your portion has been assigned. The scroll of your destiny is being unsealed, and inside it is written, the transfer starts now. This transfer is not the kind the world understands. It won't always appear in obvious forms. Some days it will be ideas that generate income effortlessly. Other days it will be connections with people who carry access. And then there will be moments when the wealth arrives so suddenly, so unexpectedly, that it stuns even you. But each form of this flow is coming from the same source, God. And He never transfers without a purpose. September 23rd is not about a single event. It's about the unlocking of a financial frequency that you now carry in your spirit. That frequency resonates with abundance. You no longer walk in lack. The lack may try to knock, but it won't find you at home. You've changed frequencies. You've stepped into a new spiritual bandwidth where overflow is normal and provision is promised. The time of almosts is over. The era of just enough is gone. Now begins the cycle of more than enough, not just so you can live in peace, but so that you can become a vessel of wealth for others. God does not bless for spectacle. He blesses for strategy. And you, chosen one, are part of a divine strategy to reroute wealth into righteous hands, into clean hearts, into those who carry the burden of building something sacred in a broken world. You didn't ask for this anointing. It found you. It chased you. And now that you've accepted it, it's time for the resources to follow. Divine assignments attract divine provision. This is why the flow must begin now, because what's ahead requires funding, and God never launches a vision without backing it with provision. On September 23rd, something changes in your environment, but even more so, something changes inside you. The old version of you that expected struggle fades. The version of you that braced for disappointment dissolves, and in its place stands someone new. Someone who expects the doors to open. Someone who knows the mail will bring favor. Someone who checks their account with faith, not fear. This transfer won't come to prove a point to your doubters. It will come to fulfill a promise to your spirit. This was never about revenge. It was always about reward. God is not blessing you to silence others. He is blessing you because your obedience whispered louder than any noise could shout. You remained quiet when you could have defended yourself. You stayed loyal when you could have turned bitter. And heaven took note. The angels who recorded your tears are now the same ones delivering your packages. Your surrender wrote the orders. Your faith confirmed the deliveries. Your timeline has been adjusted to supernatural speed. And now, what once took years will arrive in weeks, because divine transfers don't follow earthly schedules. They obey only God's timing. And God has declared, the time is now. You won't have to chase what's already chasing you. What's yours will find you. The clients, the contracts, the opportunities, the financial resources. They're not lost. They're divinely aligned and now en route. And when they arrive, you'll understand why the wait was so long. It wasn't about delay. It was about design. God was crafting a moment so undeniable, that even you would say, only God could have done this. Don't try to explain it. Just walk in it. This is not the season for over-talking. This is the season for silent confirmations. People will feel the shift on you before they see it around you. Your energy will carry weight. Your presence will carry power. Because when divine wealth enters your life, it changes everything. Not just your wallet, but your walk. This is what happens when the heavens release what they've been holding. Your name has been spoken in rooms you didn't enter. Your story has been referenced in heavenly meetings. And the verdict has come down. Release the resources. Send the wealth. Begin the transfer. Chosen one, you will experience something peculiar. A financial ease that doesn't make sense. Bills will be paid without anxiety. Needs will be met without begging. Desires will be granted without guilt. And it won't just be for survival. It will be for strategy. You're not called to just escape hardship. You're called to build something that lasts for generations. September 23rd will look like a normal day to the world. But in the realm of spirit, it will be remembered as the start of something rare. The start of your flow. The beginning of wealth arriving not because you connived or compromised, but because you aligned. That alignment opened the gates. That posture activated heaven's economy. Don't be surprised if doors swing open suddenly, if accounts increase without warning, if you receive notifications that feel too good to be true. This is the fruit of a spiritual release that began long before you saw the evidence. God doesn't ask you to understand it. He asks you to believe it. And in that belief, the transaction is made complete. This wealth is not being added to your life for ego. It's being added because God can trust your hands. He knows you won't fumble the blessing. You won't weaponize the breakthrough. You'll honor it, steward it, and multiply it. That's why it's coming. That's why the transfer couldn't be denied. Some will wonder how you did it, how you went from invisible to undeniable. But they won't see the nights you stayed up, speaking to God about things no one knew you carried. They won't understand how your warfare turned into worship, how your lack turned into leverage. But you'll know. You'll carry the secret smile of someone who saw the shift coming. There are no mistakes in divine timing. Everything you thought you lost was really rerouted. And now, everything you were owed is returning in multiplied form. This is not just restoration, it's overflow. The transfer is not just coming to balance you, it's coming to bless you beyond measure. And in the midst of it all, you will feel God's hand so strongly that it will humble you, not out of shame, but out of gratitude. You'll whisper, "Thank you," when no one else is watching. You'll feel tears forming at the most unexpected times, not because you're sad, but because you're overwhelmed by how deeply God remembered you. The landscape of your life is shifting. You may not see the entire picture yet, but something inside you already knows. The environment is no longer hostile. What once resisted you is now responding to your presence. The ground beneath your feet is no longer cursed. It is fertile. Your name has been whispered to divine winds. And on September 23rd, those winds will carry what belongs to you directly into your hands. This is not just money coming to you. It is justice. It is divine compensation. You were not crazy when you saw flashes of your future, visions that felt too big for your current circumstances. You weren't imagining things. You were receiving divine previews. God was showing you what was already stored in your name, waiting for the perfect time to be released. And that time is here. This transfer will not come with chaos. It will come with clarity. You won't have to fight to prove you're worthy. You won't have to beg, plead, or manipulate systems. The systems themselves will shift in your favor. Policies will bend. Algorithms will tilt. Opportunities that were once locked will recognize your frequency and open wide. Why? Because the seal has been broken. The signature of God has authorized your release. On September 23rd, the wind will carry more than air. It will carry evidence. Evidence that God never forgets. Evidence that your waiting was not wasted. Evidence that the silence you endured was sacred preparation. You were not buried. You were planted. And now, the roots have matured enough to produce fruit. And not just any fruit. Fruit that multiplies, nourishes, and testifies to the goodness of God. You'll notice it first in your spirit. A calm will replace the panic. A certainty will override the confusion. You will wake up without dread. You will fall asleep with peace. That is how the transfer begins. Not with external fireworks, but with an internal flood. And once your soul is ready to receive, your hands will follow. Your bank account will reflect it. Your calendar will reflect it. Your life will reflect it. This isn't about overnight fame. It's about sustained favor. You are being moved into long-term abundance. Not a flash of provision, but a river. A river that won't run dry because its source is not from man. This is not wealth created in boardrooms or brokerages. This is wealth released from the heavenly vault. And you, chosen one, are the designated recipient. This is the fulfillment of promises made to you when you were still in the shadows. Back when no one noticed you. When you gave without receiving. When you believed without evidence. When you supported others while silently wondering if your time would ever come. That kind of faith doesn't go unrewarded. God has a ledger, and your name is surrounded by check marks. September 23rd is not random, it's precise. The movement began in the spirit long ago. Angels have been dispatched, financial transfers have been queued, keys have been forged to unlock doors you never imagined would open for you. These are not small doors. These are generational gates. Gates that once kept wealth locked behind the names of a few. But now, those gates are opening for you. You are not just receiving finances. You are stepping into your divine financial identity. You are remembering that you were never created to live from paycheck to paycheck or opportunity to opportunity. You were created to live from promise to promise, from overflow to overflow, from vision to reality. And now, every promise you carried in your spirit is coming to meet you in the natural realm. Do not shrink. Do not question. Do not delay your own access. The only thing that can slow this transfer is disbelief. But you, chosen one, already know too much to doubt. You've seen too many signs. You've survived too many attacks. You've witnessed too many strange alignments. And now, the final alignment is upon you. You are not behind. You are right on schedule. Everything that felt like a setback was a setup. Every door that shut in your face was divine protection. Every person who walked away made room for the right ones to enter. And now, as the wealth begins to flow, you'll see why it had to happen this way. You weren't rejected. You were preserved. You weren't delayed. You were hidden. And now, you won't just appear. You will arrive. Not as someone trying to be accepted, but as someone whose name has already been written in heavenly places. The transfer is proof that you were never forgotten. There will be signs. Expect them. Random deposits. Unexpected approvals. Sudden ideas that turn into income. Encounters with people who open doors without asking for anything in return. These are not coincidences. They are confirmations. And they are only the beginning. The transfer will also bring acceleration. Things that used to take months will now take days. What once required begging will now come through favor. The timelines of manifestation have shifted. You no longer operate under the rules of the world. You are functioning in God's divine economy. And in this economy, the currency is obedience. The reward is overflow. And the proof is undeniable. When it happens, don't try to tone it down. Don't try to make it logical for others. Some things are not meant to be explained. They are meant to be experienced. And this, chosen one, is your season of experience. The weight you've carried in silence will be balanced by the weight of blessings you will carry publicly. You didn't collapse under the pressure, and now you'll be lifted by the promise. God is not just showing up. He is showing out. He is putting his fingerprint on your life. So clearly, so powerfully, that no one will be able to say, "This was luck." This transfer will shock some. It will humble others. And for a few, it will activate their own belief. You will become a signpost of what's possible when someone dares to believe that God is still in the business of miracles. Your life will be the message. Your provision will be the testimony. Chosen one, brace yourself for favor that multiplies, for income that doesn't depend on labor, for surprises that rewrite your story in real time. This is not prosperity for the sake of prosperity. This is prosperity with purpose. You are not just being blessed, you are being positioned. God trusts you. That's why the transfer has come to you and not to others. It's not about being more deserving. It's about being more aligned. And now that your alignment is undeniable, the access has been granted. You're not stepping into a new chapter. You're stepping into an entirely new book, one where the plot has shifted, the character has evolved, and the blessings are already written in gold ink. Chosen one, everything that was once withheld is now being released without resistance. Not by force, not by begging, but by divine right. The gates are not just opening, they're swinging wide because your name has been marked for elevation. The transfer isn't just financial, it's spiritual, emotional, and generational. This is a turning point that redefines your entire bloodline. What begins on September 23rd is not limited to your hands. It will flow through you, impact those connected to you, and break barriers that stood tall for decades. Money is coming. But it's more than money. It's movement. It's momentum. It's a massive unlocking of long-standing potential that was once trapped behind circumstances you couldn't control. Now, all of that changes. The limitations are no longer valid. The excuses no longer apply. The atmosphere no longer resists you. The spiritual weather forecast has changed. Heavy rain of favor, wind gusts of sudden opportunity, and thunderous miracles on repeat. What's different now? Everything. The version of you that used to prepare for disappointment has retired. The identity that once tolerated being overlooked has vanished. The self-doubt that made you second-guess your calling has collapsed. Now, there stands a new you, empowered, unapologetic, spiritually funded, covered by God, and completely surrounded by transfer energy. This transfer is bold. It doesn't knock. It enters. It doesn't hesitate. It flows. And it doesn't ask permission to bless you. It was already approved by heaven. You are not living in uncertainty anymore. You're living in fulfillment. You're walking in completion. The number 23 wasn't randomly chosen. It marks divine agreement. And on the 23rd of September, that agreement goes into effect. You're going to notice how the atmosphere responds to you differently. Emails will get answered faster. People will speak your name in rooms you've never entered. Old invoices will be paid. Unexpected refunds, back pay, debts cleared, and surprise deposits will start appearing. This isn't fantasy. This is your reward. Your persistence pushed through something invisible. And now, everything visible must respond. God doesn't just bless randomly. He blesses according to alignment. And now that you've passed through the fire, the delay, the silence, and the heartbreak, you're fully aligned. This is why the transfer can't be stopped. Heaven has already released the command. Angels are in dispatch mode. They're not coming to comfort you. They're coming to deliver. Don't be shocked if everything you thought you had lost starts showing up again, but this time, multiplied. What was once withheld is being returned in harvest form. You planted seeds in seasons of drought. You stayed consistent when no one saw your effort. And now, those invisible seeds have grown into undeniable results. Harvest season isn't coming. It's already begun. You'll wake up and feel a lightness, as if a spiritual weight has lifted off your shoulders. Because it has. That was the final shift before the transfer. That release you felt wasn't random. It was spiritual clearance. Your hands had to be empty to receive what's coming. And now, the heavens are pouring without restriction. You're not just stepping into abundance, you're stepping into identity. The wealth is just a byproduct. The true prize is the revelation of who you are. An heir, a chosen one, a kingdom-financed, divinely backed builder of something eternal. That's why this had to take time. Because if it came too early, it could have fooled you into thinking the money was the miracle. But now, you know, you are the miracle. The money just caught up. The doors that were once locked because you didn't have the right credentials or connections, those doors will now open with a whisper. You won't need a name drop. You won't need validation. The anointing will speak louder than any reference letter. People will feel the shift on you and move out of the way. That's what divine elevation looks like. That's how wealth walks into a room before your name is even called. You'll no longer worry about the price of your vision, because God has decided to fund it. You'll no longer delay your plans waiting for people to support you, because heaven already has. There's no need to ask, how will I afford it? The answer is, the transfer has been released. The funding you need to walk in your assignment has already been signed for. Some of you will receive unexpected business deals. Some of you will receive inheritance. Others will walk into ideas that unlock financial flow instantly. But no matter the method, the message is the same. I, God, am sending this to you because you have proven trustworthy. I am not just giving you access. I am giving you authority. Authority means you now carry the spiritual right to distribute, manage, and multiply resources. No more hesitation. No more second guessing. You're not just someone who receives. You are someone who stewards. And God is trusting you to build something that reflects His glory, not just your goals. You'll notice the pace of your life pick up. Where things felt stagnant before, there will now be divine speed. Alignments will happen quickly. Decisions will be made easily. The resources will meet the right purpose without delay. Why? Because divine flow does not come with confusion. It comes with confirmation. You'll feel seen, not just by people, but by the universe, by the divine intelligence that governs timing. You'll feel remembered, not just for what you've done, but for who you are. You'll realize this transfer didn't come because of works. It came because of identity. You didn't earn this. You were chosen for it. And now that it has started, it won't stop. It won't pause. It won't skip a beat. What begins on September 23rd is only the beginning. That's the ignition. That's the spark. But the journey continues, and every step will be accompanied by evidence. God is not giving you a one-time miracle. He's initiating a new normal, a life where wealth flows with ease, where opportunities find you instead of you chasing them, where financial struggle becomes a testimony, not a current story, where purpose and provision walk hand in hand, where you no longer have to explain why you believe, because everyone will see the proof. The flow will be so strong, so undeniable, that even those who doubted you will come back just to ask how it happened. But you won't need to say much. Your peace will speak. Your joy will speak. Your freedom will speak. And when they ask how you did it, you'll simply say, God did this. You are now walking on soil that has been consecrated for overflow. Every step you take from here is guided by divine placement. This isn't coincidence, it's orchestration. And as the transfer continues, you'll begin to feel the ground beneath you vibrate with unseen movement. What's happening in the spirit will manifest in waves, not just ripples, but waves strong enough to break barriers that have stood in your family line for generations. This transfer is generational. It's not just coming to bless you, it's coming to end cycles. You're not simply being given wealth. You're being chosen to stop the repetition of lack. You are the appointed one, the one who was born to interrupt patterns. And that interruption begins now. The financial release marked for your name is also marked for your bloodline. It's an inheritance that had been paused until someone with enough faith, obedience, and endurance arrived. That someone is you. You may feel overwhelmed by the weight of what's being poured into your life, but you are ready. Heaven doesn't make mistakes. God doesn't miscalculate timing. Everything is arriving now because you are spiritually, mentally, and emotionally ready to carry what others fumbled. You've been prepared through rejection. You've been equipped through silence. You've been trained in the shadows. And now, it's your turn to walk in light. September 23rd will begin a new atmosphere in your home. You'll feel the atmosphere of worry begin to lift. The anxiety tied to bills, survival, and daily uncertainty will lose its grip on you. A divine peace will settle into your environment, a calm that makes no sense, yet carries absolute assurance. Because when God funds your life, He doesn't just send money. He sends peace. He sends clarity. He sends rhythm. And that rhythm will guide you into places you didn't think you qualified for. People will start approaching you with opportunities you didn't chase. Rooms you used to watch from a distance will become your meeting grounds. People who once overlooked you will now see you with new eyes. Not because you changed who you are, but because the spiritual realm has shifted and revealed who you've always been. You are not small. You never were. You were just hidden until the appointed hour. And September 23rd is that hour. Heaven has authorized your appearance. It's no longer a matter of if, it's a matter of now. The stage is set. The funding is in transit. The system has been cleared. There is no more backlog. There is only flow.